Chukudi, what exactly is your work? 2 years, you have sold phone, you have sold car, you have sold shoes, and now you are selling furniture. What exactly is your work? Now, are you like Chukudi, that you have been selling different kind of things? I understand. I'm sure it's because you are trying to make ends meet. Country hard. That is one of the reasons why in the next 100 days, I'm going to be showing you a better way of doing this thing. How you can find purpose, how you can stay and focus on a business and build it and become a huge name. I'm going to be teaching you how to build a successful business. And even if you decide that you want to go online and you want to diversify, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do it. And also I'm going to be fixing that mindset of yours that has been taking you pure. Join me on this 100-day journey. It's absolutely free. Titled Mind and Money. I am going to be teaching you skills that will help you transform not just your mind but also your pocket. Click on the link below to get registered. You know say too much Gary dey cause alcohol. And you know say this your Gary wey you dey take na because of Satan. Now let me show you how you can increase your income. Let me show you ways. Stop drinking Gary every single day. There are other types of food. There's rice, there's beans, there's chicken, there's so many other things. But you cannot afford those things if you rely on only one source of income, which is your salary. In the next 100 days, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can make money both from cryptocurrency, forex, and from owning a business. And that is not just all. I'll be adding a bonus on teaching you life skills, how to get out of depression, how to handle breakup, and how to live a best life. If you are interested in turning finance around, click on the link below and join me on this transformative journey. It is absolutely free. Stop drinking Gary every time. Because I said it's free doesn't mean that the link is going to remain open forever. Get on board. I'll see you then.
All right, good evening, guys. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to welcome you to day 29. Right, it's been an awesome time. It's been an awesome time. We've been having fun all throughout the program. And I really want to believe that you have been gaining some form of value. You're covering my time. You have been gaining some form of value, right? And if you have, I believe you share it with your friends, you drop some positive comments, and the rest of them, right? So one of the things I want to advise you to do right now is to drop a positive comment. Share this with your friends. Share this with your friends, right? This program is absolutely free. It's absolutely free, and I believe you have been getting value. All right, so today is Sunday, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to be out of your face very shortly. All right, so tonight we are going to be talking about the secrets of growth secrets. Now, we started talking about this in the previous AMAs, that's the Sunday. And the reason why we are talking about growth for Sundays is because the whole essence of the Mind and Money series is actually to bring about growth, financial growth, personal growth, and all of that, right? So it is very essential that while we give you the tools that will build your mind, while we give you the tools that would help your finances, it's also very important we give you the tools that will help you water the flower or will help you water what you hear. And that is to give you the secrets, the laws of growth. You know, there are secrets to everything. And once you understand the secrets, it's going to be a whole lot easier for you, right? Okay, so tonight we are going to be we started looking at different different versions or different principles when it comes to growth. And today we are going to be looking at a powerful, I think the first principle we looked at was intentionality, right? You have to be intentional about your growth. You have to be intentional about your growth. And the next principle we looked at was what awareness, the principle of awareness, right? Or the law of awareness, right? Then after that, we looked at the principle of the mirror or the man in the mirror. or we call it the law of the man in the mirror. Right? But for today, we are going to be looking at the principle of reflection. The principle of reflection. Excuse me. We're going to be looking at the principle of reflection. And for the principle of reflection, in simple terms, what it means is stop, pause, and think. Stop, pause, and think. Right? You need to understand that for you to grow, at every point in time, you must be able to stop, pause, then think. Very important. Stop, pause, and think. Until you're willing to stop, pause, and think, you will not be able to absorb the juice that comes out of experience. Until you're willing to stop, pause, and think, you will not be able to absorb the juice that comes out of experience. Yes, man. Right? So there is the pause power, the power of pausing. Very important. I will usually tell my people that of what good is speed when you are heading in the wrong direction? Someone heading in the wrong direction does not need motivation. If you are heading in the wrong direction with speed, you don't need, in fact, you don't need motivation to move, to be fast, to move with speed. What you need if you are heading in the wrong direction is to stop. What you need if you are headed in the wrong direction is to stop. That is why for you to grow, you must at every point in time make it a routine to stop, pause, then think. That thinking is where the reflection comes in. Right? Now, somebody said that experience is the best teacher. Another person said evaluated experience is the best teacher, not just experience. That means an experience that you've evaluated. You've paused. Okay, so something happened. Then you stopped, you pause. Then you reflect on what happened. What could you learn? What did you learn from what happened? Right? So you discover that a lot of people are in a continual, perpetual cycle of failure. They don't grow simply because they've not learned enough lesson from their previous experiences. That is one of the reasons why you find out that people that are divorced have a tendency of getting divorced again. A higher tendency. So you see someone that has been into 3-4 marriages. Why? Stop, pause, and think. Experience is a hard teacher. Why? Because it gives you the test first before it teaches you the lesson. Experience will give you the test first before it teaches you the lesson. So for experience to be a teacher, for you to learn from experience, you must be able to stop. You see, as simple as these things are, or as simple as this thing is, we have people every day with various experiences. Every day. And guess what? They learn nothing from it. They learn nothing. People go through all sorts of experience every single day and learn nothing. So that experience does not amount to any form of growth. And the reason is simple. They've never taken time out to pause and reflect. What could I have done better? Until you learn from it, experience is not enough. According to my dad would say experience is never enough until you have learned from it. Experience is not enough until you have learned from it. And for you to be able to learn from this experience, right? For you to be able to harness the principle of reflection, you need to have a dedicated time and place that you would use to sit down, pause, and reflect on the issues that have happened. At the end of every week, at the end of every month, you need to have a time where you settle down, a place where you sit down, you think. So how have I done? And when thinking, there's so many things you need to look at. The 4 eyes that you need to consider when you are thinking, right? When you pause to reflect, the things you need to consider. 1, you need to investigate. An investigation means discovering the truth in your experience. What are the insights in your experience? What have you need to really look at the experience. What just happened? What led to what happened? Look at it, look deep into what happened. If you're not growing, if you are growing, you need to settle down and think. Investigate is the first thing you need to do. The second thing you need to do is to meditate. So you have sat down, you have looked at the experience, you have investigated all what went wrong or what went right. Take note, learning from experience is not just negative experiences, but also positive experiences, because that is one thing we have learned not to do. We take it that we only learn from the negative experiences. No, you learn from every kind of experience, both the positive and the negative. If you are trading and you made some form of profit, investigate, what did I do right? What could I do better? Right? So you first have to investigate. Then number 2, you have to meditate. Meditating is, in agric science those days, they taught us that goats and cow, they have like 3 or 4 compartments of their stomach. So what they do is, as they are moving around, they are chewing grass, they are just cutting the grass as they are moving around. Now that cutting the grass they are not swallowing the grass straight. No, they are just chewing it and gathering it and storing it in the first compartment. So when they get to a place where they need to sit down, when they are not walking, when they are not roaming around, they will regurgitate, bring out that food from the first stomach and start chewing it. Now that is what meditation is. After you have had that experience, you investigate. That means you bring out that thing you have had, that experience, you bring it out. Then meditation is that you now start chewing it. So you now bring out, start looking at it bit by bit. You are listening, you are learning, you are meditating. It's as if you are incubating something. So you sit down on what you have investigated, what you have found out. You sit down on it. You incubate it. That is at that point. After this point, this is the point this is what leads to the next point, which is called what? The I see moment. The I see moment. That's number 3. I see. Have you ever been talking to somebody, or somebody was telling you something, then you are trying to understand what he's saying, then all of a sudden, oh, I see. That's the moment. That I see moment is a moment of illumination. all of a sudden, yes, this is what I could have done right. This is what led to that I see moment. Number 3, you call it epiphany. Epiphany. Right? So you get to a point where you have looked at, you have considered what happened. You've investigated what happened that led to all the experience. You've investigated all the variables. Then you have looked at it and you have meditated on each of them. You have chewed them. You have, you've regurgitated on them. Right? You have incubated those things. Then you now have, if you do it well, it will lead you to epiphany. That aha moment. Oh, I see moment. Right? The illumination comes in. Okay, so this is what I could have done better. This is what I could have not done better. Oh, this is what led to it. This is not what led to it. Then number 4 is where you now draw a structure to ensure that you have learned. And that number 4 is where we now call illustration. Illustration. So you first meditate. You first investigate. Then you meditate. Then your meditation should lead to epiphany. Then what you find out, that illustration is now where you write it down. Write it down. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. Why? That they may run that read it. That they may run that read it. So writing it down and keeping it in a place where it is visible to you is the only way you can now apply what you have learned. That's the only way you can apply what you have learned. So number 4 is what I call what? Illustration. Putting it down in writing. The shortest pen is better than the longest memory. You should be able to write things down. I see people that move about with just ideas in their head. They will never come to fruition. As a matter of fact, a wise man said that the first, how did he put that? He said, the first contact your idea have from wherever it's coming from, right? Is it from the supernatural or from wherever the idea is coming from? But the first point of contact your idea gets from infinity to reality is from the pen. From infinity to reality, the first point of contact, the first thing that, if you have an idea, a beautiful idea, or you've thought about something, you've had an epiphany or something, the first point of sending that thing from the realm of the invisible to the visible is through the pen. That's the first point. You must be able to write it down. Now, and something that would help you to be able to apply this law very well is asking the right questions. Asking the right questions. Asking the right questions. Very powerful. Now, when I say write it down, before I move on to the questions, I mean taking good record of everything that happened, what you learned from it, how you can do better. Now, this thing in simple English, you see these 4 things I gave you, this IMEL that I gave you, right? That's what? Investigate, meditate, then epiphany, then writing it down. This is how you should live your life. Make it regular. Make it a regular routine. daily, monthly, weekly, annually. Make it regular. Those days when we were growing up, we were taught the concept of diaries. But a lot of people had the wrong mindset or the wrong idea of what these diaries would do. So they think it's only about writing, oh, I kissed this boy today, I kissed this girl today, I love this boy, I love this girl. No. And it's not, it's about thinking, meditating, journaling. How did my day go? Investigate. What are the experiences I had? From there, meditate. It will lead to epiphany. Then you jot things down. Write it. Write everything. Write it down. From the experience to your investigation to what you got from meditation, from what you found out through the epiphany, through the aha moment. Put it down. Now, like I was saying, some of the things that will help you when you are going through this process, this thought process, is asking the right questions. What did I learn from this experience? How do I feel about it? It's not a yes or no answer, a question. It's an open-ended question. You need to be able to introspect and have a way of expanding your thought process. You should be able to introspect and have a way of expanding the process. What did I learn from this? How do I feel about what happened? What surprised me the most on this experience? Ask open-ended questions. In the kind of questions you should answer, the second type of questions you should answer is self-reflective questions. Questions that will examine your thoughts, that will examine your behavior as relates to this experience. What were my intentions? What role did my emotions play? Self-reflective questions. Examine your thoughts, examine your feelings, examine your behavior. How did my action align with what I believe, my personal values and beliefs? Then the third type of questions you should be asking, critical questions. Questions that would steer or stimulate critical thinking. What assumption did I make? What did I assume that led to this? What were the assumptions I made? What were the assumptions I had? Are there evidences that support or challenge what I believe in leading to this experience? Because you must have the ability to unlearn and relearn. That is what being meek is about. Now you have the ability to unlearn and relearn. Without this, you can never grow. You must have the ability to what? Unlearn and relearn. Very important. Right? So, what assumptions did you make? What evidences or challenges? Or what evidence supports or challenges what you believe in? What other perspective could I have considered? Okay, so I approach this situation happened and this thing happened. Are there alternative perspective I could have considered? This thing, it's like playing a game of chess. For you to be a good chess player, you should be able to think about 3 moves ahead. 3 moves ahead is that you're considering your move. If I make this move, what are the possible moves my opponent will make? If he makes this move, what is my next move? And if I make that move, what is his? You should be able to think 3 moves ahead. Then professionals, the grandmasters of chess, those ones have ability of thinking up to 5, 7 moves ahead. But from where you are, can you think of 3 moves ahead? What are the alternative perspectives you could consider? That's critical questions that stimulate critical thinking. Number 4, you can see now, this is where it now gets more interesting. Moving forward, so you're now asking future-oriented questions. You're asking future-oriented questions. What changes would I like to make moving forward? How can I leverage on this experience to achieve my goals? What steps can I take to prevent similar challenges from happening in the future? Future-oriented questions. You should be able to ask yourself these questions. Right? So, you're not only asking yourself open-ended questions to explore your thought process, you are asking yourself self-reflective questions to examine and do some introspection about your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. Then you are taking it a lot deeper by asking yourself questions that will stimulate critical thinking. Now, these 3 questions are going to be based on what happened, how it happened, why it happened, what was your belief system. Then you now have to move on, which is now the future-oriented question. What changes would you like to make going forward? How can you leverage on what has happened to achieve your goals? How can you prevent similar occurrences in the future? For negative experiences, of course. Then the 5th type of questions you should be asking are empowering questions. So these type of questions, you are now focusing on your strengths, the possibilities that you found, the opportunities. So this time you are now being positive and proactive. What strength did I demonstrate when handling this situation? What strength did I demonstrate? What are the opportunities for growth that this experience offers me? How can I turn this challenge into an opportunity for development or growth? Empowering questions. You're focusing on the positives right now. Right? So you must be able to do that. Ask empowering questions. Okay, then finally, you should be able to ask questions that would consider a broader context. Questions that will help you consider your long-term goals. So how does this experience relate to my long-term goals? What impact does this my action have on other people? So you are looking at the effect of that experience in a larger context. So is it in your long-term goals? Is it in considering how it affects other people? Right? Or is it considering how something bigger affected that situation? But you must be able to ask the right questions. Somebody said that successful people ask better questions, and as a result, they get better answers. Successful people ask better questions. And as a result, they do what? They get better answers. A minute of thought is worth more than an hour of talk. You have to you have to take time. As I round up, you have to take time to do some form of reflection. Very important. Take out time to do some form of reflection. Do some form of reflective thinking. Stop, pause, and think. And we always say, what is the point of climbing a very tall ladder only to get to the top and discover it was leaning on the wrong wall? What is the point of climbing a very tall ladder only to get to the top and discover it was leaning on the wrong wall? That is what this principle of reflection is about. You need time to sort through experiences, to put the experiences into perspective, then to use that information to plan for the future. Successful people ask better questions, and as a result, they get better answers. You must be able to do this if you want to go forward. And trust me, guys, it is worth the trouble. So, how do you apply this thing? After this meeting, take your pen, take your paper. First of all, schedule a day or a time where you are going to have some reflective moments. Weekly, monthly, and annually. Schedule that time where you will have some reflective moments. Weekly, monthly, and annually. And follow it like a ritual. So after scheduling the time, the next thing you need is to schedule the place. Schedule the place. Somebody said, Henry Arnold said, that the wise man questions himself while the fool questions others. The wise man questions himself. So you need, if you must make it, you need to have time where you question yourself. Number one, fix the time. Number two, fix the place. Number three, go there. Very simple. So I want to believe that you have learned something. Applying this also means that you are considering, okay, so these 100 days that has been going on, we are also reflecting on it. What have I gained from it? When I missed it, what was I doing the days I missed it? You have to these things are not what you pick one by one. Remember, the first principle we looked at was the principle of intentionality. Second, principle of awareness. Third, principle of the mirror. Then now principle of the mirror is talking about you as a person. Now, principle of reflection is talking about the experience you've had and how you can add it. Somebody said something that when you go to school, the essence of going to school is not to learn, but is to gain experience. To gain experience. That's why they say that a curriculum is a cumulative of all the experience that a student is supposed to have had by going to school. That's why we have curricular activities and extracurricular activities. All of these are tantamount, or they are a complete package of the experience you're supposed to have. That's why you see people that go to certain school are different from people that it's not because what they teach is not just the curriculum. It's not just x plus y equal to z, find z or find x. No, that is curricular. But you discover that people that attend certain schools do better. It's not just about the content of the curriculum. It's about the extracurricular. So it takes a cumulative of all the experiences they've had. So you must be able to sit down, analyze, investigate, meditate, chew on these experiences. That's the only way it can be useful to you. Like I would always tell my people, experience is not where and where you have worked. Experience is what and what you have learned where you worked. I'm sure some of them are watching this. So you can see that for you to grow, you actually need to learn from the experience. Because experience is not just where and where you've worked, that's as it relates to work experience, but what and what you have learned where you worked. I want to believe you have gained some form of value. So I'm going to bring this meeting to a close today. Today is day 29. Thank you very much for those of you that have been with us since day one. Right? God bless you so much. I'm really, really grateful that you are spending this time with me every single day. Thank you so much. So tomorrow, we are going to be starting week 5 out of 14 weeks. Week 5 starts tomorrow. Right? And tomorrow, the topic for tomorrow is very sweet topic. Are you a wicked boss? Are you a wicked boss? Now, I don't know if I should have tagged it, are you a wicked boss? Because I'm going to be looking at this topic. We are going to be talking about this topic from 2 angles. Number 1 is the angle of you as the boss, the employer. Then number 2 is you are going to be looking at it from the angle of the employee. How do you relate to a seemingly wicked boss? And number 2, for the employer, are you behaving like a wicked boss? That means, what are the things you shouldn't be doing as a boss, or as quote and unquote, right? Boss. So it's going to be a very, very, very deep session, and I'm going to be talking about it. I will be handling that. So please and please and please make it a date with me tomorrow. And I want to say thank you very much, and God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.